All right.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. What's up? What's up? Holy
Oh,
moly. Second interview.
second interview. Yes.
Second out of many more that we plan to do.
Many, many more.
So, yeah, many more. So obviously, I'm Haley.
And I'm Brittany.
TikTok content creators slash passionista sisters of Passionflix. You can follow us on Instagram at passionista_sisters. We are interviewing the lovely Celestine today from A Brother's Honor. So
Yay.
exciting. So exciting.
So exciting.
She is just so pretty. It's so
She is so gorgeous. And she is in the waiting room.
Oh, snapsy.
Shall I? Yeah.
You need to pull a Lauren.
Yep. All right. She's coming to
Here
the party. Here we go.
Okay. Here we go.
Hi.
Hi.
How are you, ladies? It's so good.
Good.
We are
How
so
are
good.
you?
I'm good. I'm doing well.
I like your little shelf of decor that you have. It's so cute.
You, my little plant. I've been getting into house plants since quarantine started, and I've killed a few. So I'm hoping that this one will stay with me for a little bit longer than some of the other ones. I'm learning. I'm like, since I'm home, I might as well like furnish my home with some nice greenery and some life.
I have to stay with fake ones. I kill plants. Any and all plants I kill.
They're so sensitive, some of them. They really are. It's tricky. I'm like, okay, this is gonna teach me how to be, how to tend to something nicely.
Slowly take care of it over time.
Yeah. We'll see.
I just have a succulent, and you just have to water those like once every 2 weeks, and it's fine. And then pluck the little dead leaves on it, and then it's good.
Yeah, I have a succulent. I had to put it in another room because it wasn't getting enough light in here, so I had to move it. I'm learning where things need to be to get the best sunlight. Yeah, but succulents are pretty easy.
I have a fake one. It's so fake. Hobby Lobby.
It's so gorgeous, though.
It's super cute, though.
Yeah, it is.
I like the ones where you can't tell if they're fake or not. You're just like, yeah, it's my plant.
Yeah, we had one last year that was outside, and we couldn't tell if it was real or fake, and we had this debate over whether I was like, this is real, and we were going back and forth over whether it was real or if it was fake, and we were watering it, and then it died, and I was like, okay, it was real.
Case confirmed, it's real. Well, obviously, you guys, this is the beautiful and amazing Celestine. She's super awesome. She's from A Brother's Honor, and we're talking to her today.
Shana, from A Brother's Honor.
Yes, so excited. So, but I wanted to ask you before we get into the questions is, how are you doing with COVID in New York? Like, how is it up there?
So much better than it was. I think for everyone, we've just been kind of going through this like weird transition from what we knew life to be before COVID and what it is after. And in the beginning of COVID, I was finding myself really emotional about just going to the grocery store. I mean, the idea of having to put on a mask and gloves, and it just felt like something out of one of those like sci-fi movies that we've all seen, and it just felt like what's happening to us. But I'm much better now. I'm really hoping that we can all as a country hunker down and just kind of do what we need to do to get through it. It's been like this like emotional roller coaster where some days I'm up and some days I'm down. And I went for a run this morning. I know I have to get out of the house because I've been doing a lot of Zoom stuff. So I'm like at the computer all the time, which is so different than what my life was before COVID. So now I'm like, okay, I have to make sure that I start my day with a walk or a run or being just outside in the summer. Yeah, it's summer in New York right now, thank God. And summer in New York is my favorite time of the year here. So it's a little sad that I'm I live in Long Island, so I'm a little bit outside of the city, but I'm usually in the city all the time for like auditions and just because I love the city. And I haven't been in the city at all. I've been avoiding it and avoiding the subway and avoiding having to
Yeah.
travel. So my spirits are up today, and my spirits have
Okay.
been kind of like
Good.
on the upswing, thank God. How are you guys doing though?
Doing good. It's summer here in Texas, but it's like, well, I'm in Oklahoma right now visiting my boyfriend's family, but in Texas it was when after work it was like 103 with the heat
Ooh.
index of 108. So it's just like
So you want to stay inside actually.
yeah. Well, if I'm outside, I want to be at least near water, so like pool or something. So thankfully, his
Mhm.
parents have a pool, so that's what I'll be doing later on this afternoon. But if I'm not near a pool and I'm just outside, I want to be inside.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I live in a super small town in Oregon,
Okay.
and we usually we range like from like 10 to 15 cases, and we
Mhm.
just jumped up to 51 yesterday, so that's fun.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
just stay home. I just
Stay home. Yeah.
stay home.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's hopefully what's gonna help it just pass if we all kind of continue to do that and also have some leadership that will move us into fixing some things.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
been
But
a
Yeah.
hot
I'm
topic
glad
right
you guys are doing well. Yeah.
now. So I'm
Yeah.
just hoping. I'm just hoping for. I'm just praying and hoping just for smart leadership and a hopeful future of bettering ourselves, like being healthier, but also just bettering ourselves as individuals as a country because we've been slacking in the humanity department. And so
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
just
A
hoping
I
little.
for
know. My
yeah,
sister and I have been having this conversation about, like we've been talking about other countries and how they've handled COVID, and she'll make a joke and she'll say like, "Oh, we have too many freedoms. That's the problem." And we joke around, but I think it's good that we have so many freedoms and we should have them, but freedom without the responsibility part is the part that is becoming more obvious about where we're at. Like, okay, it's wonderful we have these freedoms, but what about the responsibility to each other, and ourselves, and how do we look out for each other in a way where we care? It's not just a selfish quest,
yeah,
that we're actually in it together. So yeah, that's something that I've been thinking about. There's a lot of good that can hopefully come out of this moment that we can kind
yeah,
of self-reflect and shift a little bit and into, like you said, something more hopeful and positive.
because we
Yeah.
Yeah.
definitely need it after all of this going on.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. But Brittany is going to start us off
Right.
with our question we have for you.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So, who is an actor or a dancer that you admire the most?
I have so it I feel like it changes depending on like what's happening. Right now in this moment, I'm so inspired by Michaela Cole on I May Destroy You. She has that new show on HBO.
Mhm.
She is also in total create like she wrote it. She's in total creative control over the storytelling, and her acting is so vulnerable and like beautiful and quirky and heartbreaking every episode, and it's only 30 minutes long. Each episode is only a half an hour, but you feel like you've just gotten so much from her and like so much of her soul. So she's like really inspiring, and also just because it's coming from a personal story, and she is also in control as a woman, as a Black woman, leading that ship and being very unapologetic about how she's telling the story. She's like my number one right now.
That's
I
so
love
good.
her.
That's
Yeah,
cool.
I like that. That's really
yeah.
neat.
But I
We'll
also
have to
have
look
like
her up.
I have my Meryl Streep, who is just like,
Oh,
Yes. I love
yes.
her.
like all star, like who can deny Meryl
Yeah.
Streep and Denzel Washington, and
Yeah.
right now also Mark Ruffalo, who has a show on HBO too, and his show is just amazing. He's playing a twin. He's playing two versions of himself. Mind blowing. Amazing work. If you
That's
have,
always
if
hard
you
if
watch,
you're not already a twin. You have to come up with two versions of yourself. So that's
yeah,
pretty.
yeah.
I don't think I could do that. Like too much.
It's like the dream role, you know, to be able to go and play something that intense. It's great. Yeah.
So I guess though that's a really good that you brought up the actress that you did because she's female and she's African American. So like the next question I have, I mean, you can be as open and
Actually,
vulnerable.
she's from London, I believe, and I believe she's Nigerian. So she's yeah,
That's so
yeah.
cool. I like
That's
it when
Mhm.
people
cool.
come from like different
Mhm.
places and it's just all like one person. It's really cool. Um, but like with this question, I mean, obviously you can be as vulnerable as you're comfortable with, but just because of everything that has happened within the past couple months, like how do you think the BLM movement will affect like the movie industry being African American, male, female, trans,
Yeah.
whatever? How do you think with this shift, how do you think it'll affect you guys?
I I really hope that it inspires a lot of progress. The Black Lives Matter movement has been going for some time now. Has been doing a lot of that groundwork for a while, since Trayvon Martin, which was 2013, I believe. I might be wrong about that, but that's a while ago. That's a significant amount of time. And then historically, before Black Lives Matter, we had the civil rights movement, and so with each movement, you see opportunities for progress. And I'm hoping that what's happening right now, specifically and the attention, the massive attention and the worldwide attention that Black Lives Matter has been given right now, I hope it affects the movie industry both in front of the camera and behind the lens. Like, I hope that we have more Black directors and wardrobe specialists and hair and makeup people and producers, people who are making decisions. I think that's super, super important. And I hope that we also see more stories that reflect the vast experiences of Black people, because sometimes we can get we've been put in this like niche category, like Black people all have the same experience, and it's just not true. We all come from very different, diverse. Black people are diverse within themselves, and so it'll be wonderful if we can start seeing stories that reflect the diversity of the Black experience, which is so vast and so different and so nuanced. And like you said, there, in terms of the Black trans stories and Black LGBTQI stories, and like just bringing in all of the nuance and complexity. That's my hope. That's what I hope really starts to happen a lot more. Yeah.
I think I got really excited. I forgot her name and I feel so bad for forgetting it, but I think they just released, or I don't know if it's confirmed yet, but the first female African American director for Marvel.
Oh, yes,
I
yes, yes,
forgot her
yes.
name,
What is her name? I
but
know who you're talking about.
when I saw that, I was like, yes, we're taking steps, we're moving forward. I'm like, this is so
Mhm.
good. So
And
yeah,
didn't she just work on, I think she just worked with Jordan Peele on something. I think
I think
I have to look at that. Yeah, but that was very exciting when I saw
yeah.
that.
When I saw that, I was like,
Very
okay,
cool.
future's female. We got this. It's gonna be
Yeah,
good.
yeah. Especially because for me, it's like before her, it's like Ava DuVernay. Like when Ava DuVernay started coming out and directing and doing her stuff, I was like, okay, we have another Black woman who's like
Yeah.
doing stuff, and she's created so many amazing works. So yeah, let's keep the momentum going. It's like as one steps into a position, let's open the door for many, many more.
It's the same with I got excitement too for Biden's choice for VP. I was
Yeah,
like, that if he wins, that is going to be groundbreaking because not
yeah.
only, I mean, obviously we've had our first African American president with Barack Obama, and he
Mhm.
did amazing things, but then having her as the first female VP, but being the
Yeah.
first female African American VP, that's going to be so amazing.
Yeah, representation matters. It matters to have women in positions of power. It matters to have Black women in positions of power. And when you come from a lived experience, you can lend your compassion and your humanity to whatever it is that you're working on. You know, I think that's what's so amazing also about Tosca is like, as she's creating romance, you know, movies, like there's a female lens, and that experience, that, I mean, her being a woman matters in terms of how she's telling these stories. It just really does.
And we just love Tosca and her mission.
love
That's why
Tosca.
we created our fan page and why we're reaching
Yeah.
out to you guys and stuff like that, because we want to hear your side, and from fans though too, because I know you get like messages from fans and all this other stuff, but I think that's what Brittany and like our mission is right now, is just to reach out to all of you guys who have been working in this industry, but just wanting to hear it from like a fan's point of view and how we see you guys and stuff like that. So I'm hoping to obviously speak to you guys more as we go on, because I know we interviewed Richard last week. I don't know if you got to see that.
Oh,
but
you did? No, I didn't get to see it. I have to check it out.
he's just such an amazing person. And he was like, yeah, like Celestine and I met at this premiere for The Will or something. And I was like, that's so cool.
I was gonna say, actually, it was for Dirty Sexy Saint.
Oh, Dirty Sexy
Yeah,
Saint.
yeah, we met, and it was so quick. Like I went and I because I had met David and Jordan.
Yeah.
We went to Rare London, and so I wanted to go and support. And then I saw him on the red carpet, and it is a thing where sometimes when you're like the only Black people in the space, you're like, hey, how are you? You know, it's like, hi. So we had a moment of like, hi, and we introduced ourselves, and it was great. He has really sweet energy, yeah. But all the people that Tosca works with and the fans, like, you guys are, there's this beautiful energy, and I've told Tosca this before, that there's such a sweet, genuine, kind energy from everyone that she pulls into her Passionflix world and community. Yeah. It's awesome.
Yeah. It's really neat to be a part of. Brittany and I try to look out though for the haters, or you try to pick them out and just be like, well, you don't really need to be in this community if that's your main purpose, and not to spread love and kindness and acceptance, then you don't need to be in this community, because that's what we're all about. And so
had to weed a couple people out.
Yes,
there's always going to be at least one. Yeah.
So okay, Brittany, go ahead.
So what is your perfect vacation spot?
Anywhere near water where it's warm. I love the water. If I can be by the water and it's warm and it's a relaxing kind of environment, that's great for me. Yeah.
Yep.
Maybe with a little bit of an adult influence drink on the side.
Oh yeah, of course. Well, of course.
To add a little bit more to the relaxation factor.
Yeah, some tropical umbrella type drink. Yeah.
Something fruity.
Yeah, why not?
Fruity, it's fine. Let's see. Oh, what are you going to be looking forward to when quarantine is over? Or hopefully not over, but maybe like more advances of opening things up opportunity-wise, I guess.
Well, I'm looking for quarantine to be over, but
yeah,
I'm looking for it to be over. Yeah. I'm so lucky because I've been quarantined with my husband, so I've been able to get some TLC. But I am missing being able to hug people. Like, I'm a hugger, and I'm really. It's weird. It's weird to not be able to, like, I'm such a touchy-feely, like, sensitive person that when I'm not able to be around my friends in that way and hug them, and that's part of how I show my love. It's like, it's weird. So I'm really looking forward to being able to just like hug people I love and care about again.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to working again. I'm looking forward to being on a set and like doing my thing, but I'm also looking forward to hugging people.
Just give them the biggest hug and just don't let go.
Yeah.
Okay, so we kind of went back to when you were on a passion pod with Tosca, and you had said that your dancing skills kind of helped your acting. Do you still use those skills when you act?
Dance was like my first love, artistic love, and I think dance made me very aware of how I can physically become a character. So I think that I am a very physical person in life. Like I understand things through my body. So sometimes when I'm reading a script, I will kind of get an idea about how the character moves or how they sit or how they hold their head, or you know, I kind of go into it from a physical place. So I think that's how dance has definitely influenced me. And also my connection to music comes from dance. So sometimes also when I'm getting into character, like there's like a kind of a soundtrack to the character, like what kind of music does this character listen to? And yeah, when I was in Florida last year shooting A Brother's Honor, there were a few songs that I played consistently before I went to set, and now when I hear them, it kind of just brings me back to Shane. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
Shayna, that
It's
was you.
her.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was telling Brittany about that because I did dance for a while too. And at the end of every year in high school, we did this thing called Spring Show. So it was like a production that we put on, and we broke up songs and did it in groups, or we did it individually and stuff like that. And I was telling her, I mean, through my experience, I mean, you can probably relate to this also, is you were acting with your body, but you're also you memorize the movements that go with the song, so you're tying in a personal experience with the song, and if it's sad or if it's happy, that's how you move your body. But you also have to be conscious of your face, because your face is telling the story too. And so I told her, we did this dance, and it was, I forgot the name of it, but it I wore like a white dress with my captain, and it was because I was a senior. And so she, towards the middle of the song, she puts my graduation cap on, and that was like the moment where I'm like, I'm graduating high school and I'm moving into the adult world. And I just like cried on stage.
Oh.
Everyone just saw it. And I was like trying to dance but keep my face pretty at the same time, and I was like, oh my god. It's just,
Oh my God.
but
So cool.
yeah, and it's so cool that like that it's a form of art that people can really like. But if they've never danced before in their life, they can still watch you and watch how you're moving your body and your face, and have that experience with you at the same time.
Yeah, it's, you know, it's so funny you share that, and it brings me back to when I was dancing when I was younger. I when I was in high school, yeah, so about the same time, I danced with a teacher. His name was David St. Charles, and he recently passed away. So I'm sharing this because it's like coming up for me as you're talking about it. And he was such a mentor to me. He was amazing, and he used to dance for Alvin Ailey American Dance Theater, and he had this amazing, fabulous career. And he used to call me Face, because when I danced, he would say that I was telling the story with my face. And he's actually the person that sat me down and said, have you ever thought about acting? Because I think that you need to think about going into acting, because you're not just moving your body when you dance, you're telling a story with your face too.
That's
Yeah.
so cool.
So that's what made me think about that when you were sharing that. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's so
that's
cool.
so neat. I love it.
Yeah. It's my little angel right now. Yeah.
I love it. I guess then too, yeah, so for like the next question is, did you ever picture yourself on stage, like performing like dance wise or plays or acting like 10 years ago? Did you think that you would be in the position that you're in now?
I don't know if I thought I'd be in the position that I'm in right now, but I always thought I was going to be a performer, because I started dancing when I was 4, and like you couldn't tell me that I wasn't going to do that for the rest of my life. Like that was what I wanted to do. And I actually went to college for dance, and then kind of switched my major over. I got into a dance company, and then I changed my major to English, and then I was doing film projects in you know in college as well on the side. So like I was always, that's what I was always doing. And I remember friends in college being like, well, what do you do for fun? And I was like, I dance and I act. What are you talking about? Like that was my focus. That's what I always envisioned for myself. So I don't know if I thought I'd be here. I don't know where here is. I'm still not sure. But yes, I always thought I would. Yeah, I always thought I would be doing this, which is crazy. But yeah.
That's so neat.
Oh, okay. Is there a difference between performing on a stage, like in a play, versus being on screen?
Yes, and no. Yes and no. On stage, of course, you have like a live audience, and there's nothing that compares to being on stage and like feeling the energy from the audience. And also, you're living the story out from beginning to end, and it's usually in a linear form. Sometimes a play can kind of go all over the place and it's not telling the story from, you know, time period beginning to end in terms of being linear, but you're still starting, you know, and ending, and you're going on that journey, and you don't stop until the end of the play. So there's no cut. There's no like cut, do it again. You know, you also get usually 4 weeks of rehearsal with your cast, which in film and TV, it's like, hi, how are you? Nice to meet you. Okay, let's do a love scene. Like that's, it's kind of like, I mean, you might have a little bit more time, but it's not as much as TV, as theater. But what's so amazing about film and TV is that you have all of these opportunities to kind of work these smaller moments. And so it's much more specific, and it can, for me, it feels more intimate. And so I really love that. I really love the intimacy of TV and film. Yeah, but I think for in terms of technically, that's the biggest difference. As far as acting, it's you're acting truthfully under imaginary circumstances, and you're just, you know, you're just trying to be as honest and connected to the other actors as you can.
I couldn't do y'all's job. I don't know how you do it.
I don't know.
It's amazing. You get to kind of escape reality for a moment. You're like, I'm somebody else for, you know, the next few hours.
Pretend to be somebody else for a little bit, and then just
I don't know how y'all can remember lines. It's hard enough for me to remember like what I had for breakfast yesterday. I don't know.
You know what's funny though? I think about this Maya Angelou quote, and I'm gonna maybe mess it up. It's like people may forget what you say or do, but they'll never forget how you made them feel. And so as an actor, I'm always trying to attach the words to a feeling, because then I don't forget. If I know how I feel, I'm not going to forget what I need to say. And so like that's always the when people are like, how do you remember all of that? I'm like, it's a whole, like after a while, you kind of just run it by rote. You just kind of make sure that they're like in your nervous system, that the lines are just there. And then when you know how you feel about it, it just kind of flows. It's kind of mystical and mysterious. It's a weird, I don't know what we're doing over here.
So that's what makes you a good performer or a good actor, is you having the capability of tying in that experience or that emotion. Because if you're trying to convey a certain emotion, you want to make sure that you're doing it right, but not that you're doing it just for your job, but doing it because it feels right. You want to feel that way watching it too. So you want to make sure you feel a certain way, but the way that you're feeling, you're hopeful that the audience will feel that way too.
Yeah, because when you're watching good TV, like when you're watching a good performance, what makes you love it is that there's something in you that's feeling what the actor is feeling. You know, one of my acting teachers used to always say that people don't go to the theater to watch you, meaning us, the actors. They go there to see themselves. And so I was like, you know, it's that reminder of people are trying to see themselves reflected back in the stories that are being told. Yeah.
That's good. That's a really deep, like,
that's deep.
Pretty good.
So do you have, because this was kind of brought up in our conversation with Richard a little bit, do you have a favorite character from a play, a comic book, or a movie, or someone that you would like to hopefully act out one day, or a character like that eventually?
I feel like I have so many, I've always wanted to play Eartha Kitt. I love her. I think she's fascinating and she's fierce. And if I could ever get her growl, that I'm a little gurgly, but if I could ever get that growl, I would love to play Eartha Kitt. And I would love to play Catwoman. Like the reason why I'd love to play Catwoman is because of Eartha Kitt, you know? So there's that. There's also a play that I read years ago. It's Edward Albee. It's called The Goat. And I would love to be able to play Stevie in The Goat. It's this crazy play, but this she finds out that her husband is having sex with a goat behind her back. And it's like it's crazy, crazy play, but it's so beautiful in terms of this relationship and how like destroyed she is from finding this out, because they have had this very like safe and really loving marriage, and then she finds this out about her husband, and her whole life is turned upside down. It's just nuts, but I would love to do that.
Sounds
That's
interesting.
crazy. I would be a little peeved if my significant other was be like, well, your bags are at the door. So
Yeah, your whole life is just kind of like turned upside down. It's like the last thing you ever want to think.
Yeah. We're like, oh, you cheated on me, but not with who I thought you would.